It's always a pleasure when I do another, have need to do another salutations video. And this one is an interesting one. And I am running a little bit late with it, so I do apologise. But this is really to mark the occasion of Miss Jenn, who had her birthday last week. Now, Miss Jenn is a person who I have never met. Not in person anyway. We've met online, and how exactly we met, I'm not actually sure. I joined Matt Hughes's forum in the March of 2006. Nathan Rosario was the webmaster at the time. He'd just sort of become the webmaster there. The forum, of course, only being founded in the fall of 2005, had already gone through one administration. So he was starting the second. I don't remember Miss Jenn being around on the forum, on our forum at that time at all. But Matt Hughes' forum went from strength to strength, despite the schism of '59, which also happened around April and May of 2006. Nathan was called to do quite a few other websites of people that were connected to MFS, which was where Matt Hughes was based at the time, including Matt Pena, who was the boxing coach and would go on with him to found the Hit Squad, and somebody called Tim Sylvia, who of course in his own right is known as I'm seeing Little Finch, who's swinging on the swing, and he's trying to swing it so that he can bite the foot of Wyman the Budgie, who is perched on the dome roof. That's really weird. He's got it in his head now that he can try and attack Wyman's foot. It's very, very strange. Sorry, miles away there. Anyway, so where was I? Miss Jenn. Right, yes. So anyway, Tim Sylvia, and Nathan started work on Tim Sylvia's website and developed a forum there, sister forum now. Sorry, it's doing it. Stop doing that. Oh. Right, there we are. Right, so yes, started Tim Sylvia's forum, and the administrator for that was Miss Jenn. I don't exactly know how she became the administrator there, and the forum did have its own, purely its own dedicated fans, but a lot of us were encouraged to move over. It was a time of great growth because, of course, the Christian section was just about to open on our forum, and the first set of moderators, I wasn't part of that, had just been had just been appointed, and Miss Jenn was then on both forums. Now, Miss Jenn is fantastic. She does make me laugh. I believe she's a teacher. She is also Canadian, which is interesting for me because Canada's part of the Commonwealth, and it's not actually. I hope they don't take this the wrong way, but I generally tend to think of them as British people with American accents because they think more like people from England than they do people from the United States. So I have quite a connection with them usually, and I can just, you know, the same dry sense of humour really. Mine has gone back onto the dome. He's obviously a sadist, which of course is fantastic because because that is Miss Jenn's specialty, I do believe. Yes, so she's the sort of person who would sign trolls, you know, threaten to sign trolls up with, you know, goat porn or whatever if they caused problems. She used to say that she was going to Hell in a Handbasket or something like that. I can't remember what it was. And this myth grew around that Miss Jenn has a dungeon, and of course the famous saying is, you know, what happens in the dungeon stays in the dungeon. Now, me and Miss Jenn haven't always had the perfect relationship. It's gone a bit weird. We were doing quite well on Tim Sylvia's forum, but when that began to decline, a lot of us abandoned ship. I was one of the people that did that. I'm dreadfully sorry. At the same time, things were made quite difficult because there was a certain amount of competition between Jenn's Pulver and a guy who I can't remember what his name is, Spencer Fisher. And she liked Spencer Fisher and I liked Jenn's Pulver, and although they were from the same camp, at one point it looked like they were both going to try and get to the title first. Of course, it didn't go very well for Jenn's, and Miss Jenn was in fact the person who was online talking to me at the time when he lost to Joe Lozon, and I was in floods of tears. I was devastated, and Miss Jenn spoke to me for 4 hours about that. So we've had our rows and we've had our moments of intimacy, so to speak, but generally, I don't know where I'm going with this. I've been completely thrown off balance by my birds. Yes, generally we get on quite well, and I've kept in touch with her, although Tim Sylvia's forum and probably his website as well, although I have to say I haven't checked, has ceased to be. Some time ago, I think, maybe a year, maybe 2, maybe even 3. I kept in contact with Miss Jenn on MySpace for a bit, and then she disappeared from that. But I rediscovered her on Facebook. So we've kept in contact. I think she's fantastic, I do, really. And probably has a fantastic sense of humour as well. I don't know if I will ever meet her in person because I don't fancy a trip to Canada, to be totally honest. My main focus has been the US, and I don't think that there's much appeal, really. I don't know where, I don't really know anything about Canada at all. I don't know where I'd go, I don't know where I'd want to go, and I think she's probably the only Canadian who I know well enough to want to meet. So I don't know if that will ever happen, but I do hope that we keep that, despite this terrible salutations and tribute video to her, that I can still be a friend of hers, and you know, she can still entertain me in her dungeon, of course.